All right, we are live for the first edition of our speaker interviews of this next go around for Builders of Authority Live, which I'm super excited about. Today's interview, super excited about this next event coming up in June. We have Luke Farrell with STL Bucket List. Luke, what's going on, man?
Adam, first of all, man, thank you for having me on. I've been following you for a long time. The Builders of Authority. I know this is a new and improved brand for you, so I'm excited to be a part of it at the event. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited about it. I know I've been following you as well. So just seeing what you've done with STL Bucket List, the agency, all that good stuff. I'm super excited to have you at the event. I know a lot of people know you, but for those that don't, give us a quick rundown on who Luke Farrell is.
Yeah. So I've been in marketing and sales for most of my adult life. I'm 28 years old. So for the better part of 6 to 7 years now, I started my agency and STL Bucket List about the same time, which was in the summer of 2019. So we're getting ready to celebrate 5 years. Actually right when the event's going on. So it's going to be a really fun time to celebrate 5 years in business. Really, we started with one goal, and that was to support local businesses. I've been fascinated by small business. I've been fascinated by entrepreneurship my whole life. And when I found out that I could help some of these people through social media, through brand building, through content, it was a no-brainer for me. STL Bucket List was a complete accident. I tell people this story. My wife and I, we were just dating at the time, and we were in New York City, Chicago, all these big cities. And my wife was planning these trips through Instagram. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. This whole trip you planned through Instagram. We go back home to St. Louis, and I'm trying to do the same there. I'm trying to find recommendations on where young people go. I'm trying to find the places that aren't the zoo, the Arch, Forest Park, all these places that we already know that are beautiful about our city. But I wanted to find those hidden gems. So we made an anonymous page. We didn't want to tell anybody about it. We just were like, hey, let's make this page. Worst case, it feeds some leads back into my business. It does that and tenfold, but also it's become its own business. So really our core mission with STL Bucket List is to highlight the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. The people, we've been lucky enough to do a podcast, the same studio that you guys record out of as well. For over 100 episodes, we've been able to highlight those stories. And then the places we highlight on Instagram. And then the events, of course, happen similar to the BOA event that we're about to do, highlighting stuff like that that's happening in St. Louis. So that's kind of my quick little elevator pitch story.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I remember when we first met, it was back in 2021 at Spark St. Louis. And I remember you telling me that story of just like how it got created. And just so fascinating that, like, one, there was nothing really around like that, but two, just like how quickly you all have blown up. So you mentioned you started that in 2019. You and I met in like 2021, and then now you guys are at like almost 200,000 followers or on Instagram. What was like? How quickly did that take off? What was the trajectory like? Obviously, it was not meant to be a business, and then it kind of turned into a business. So walk us through that, like, very high level, real quick.
Yeah, so probably in 2021 during the pandemic time, we were doing a Locals Choice Award, and basically we're hosting a voting on our website. And we would drive 10,000 to 15,000 people to our website during the summer. And then we were getting a lot of followers. We had a big event. But it wasn't probably until we hit about 50,000 people. And 50,000 followers is different in different niches, but we had a niche of people that all lived in the same place. So it became a little bit more powerful, similar to somebody that has a Facebook group that only is interested in real estate or only is interested in home improvement. It was a hyper niche community. So we started to have businesses reach out to us. They're like, how much did it cost to get featured? And I was like, dude, I'll just come feature you. Like, and I would go out, I would give them a video or whatever. And then I was like, wait, so you guys would pay for this? So I charged $50 for a post. And dude, I made the post, I made $50. And I was like, all right, my life has changed. Now, like, we're doing a lot bigger projects, obviously. But when I made $50 from making an Instagram post, I was like, okay, now we have something here. But yeah, it was like that. And now, I mean, we're at 185,000. We built a pretty good email community. Email marketing's been pretty fun for us. The podcast is still growing, but that's been another channel. So It's cool to kind of get off social media and kind of take your community out of social media. That's one of our goals this year is like, hey, how can we convert 10% of those people out into our private community, into our email blast, or Facebook groups? A huge idea. I haven't even done that yet, but I think that could be fun for, an event's local niche as well. So,
yeah. So how are you guys growing that following? Because I don't think you and I've actually ever had that conversation. So I'm interested to know that.
Yeah, so this whiteboard back here is my baby. So basically every piece of content for 90 days is planned out. Every restaurant we're going to feature. We know what restaurant we're going to go to in 45 days. Diversity is huge for us. So highlighting places in unique areas, North County, West County, South County, St. Charles County, but really just creating a series. So like every Monday we do a food feature. Every Friday we do our events. Every Wednesday we do a podcast. Every Sunday we do a certain series. And I think getting a team behind it to execute the series. And then when Instagram introduced the collaborative feature, being able to utilize that collab feature with other big creators has been a huge thing. But to be honest, Adam, I think it's just posting a shit ton, just like you do. I mean, it's literally just being consistent. And we haven't missed a day in probably 2,000 days. I mean, we're posting every single day, multiple times a day. We're keeping stuff in the story. People think that good content, you'll get reach, but you actually have to engage with the community. You have to message people back. You have to like other people's stuff. Like you have to be more than just a creator. You also have to be, to build a community, you have to actually give into the community first, before people will start giving into you.
Yeah, I figured your answer might be somewhat along the lines of what it was. And so I'm glad that, obviously that's going to be a focus of what we're going to talk about at BOA Live and what you'll be bringing to the table. Because I think that's where a lot of people just get lost, where it's like, we have multiple calls a week with our mastermind community. And it's like, hey, a lot of the times, it's about the consistency, even if it's been 90 days or 6 months, like, some of the best stuff happens between, 1 year and 5 years, which is like obviously what you've seen. And you never know like the true impact it's going to make usually until the ripple effect happens long after any specific post or anything like that. Have you guys had like a post or two that has just like blown you all up, or like, was it more so again, just the consistency and time?
Yeah, so we've had some viral like million view posts, but I think that really it's just the average of all of our posts combined, and then we look at the numbers pretty religiously. So Instagram has decent metrics that you can look at, but if you pull it into like different social media scheduler apps, you can kind of get some better metrics. But consistently over the last like every quarter, we're averaging about 10 to 15,000 new followers, and that stays pretty consistent. So in my estimation, every quarter, every year we should get 60,000 new followers. Now, I don't know if that's going to cap out at some point. St. Louis is a small city, but we're excited to hit 200,000. We'll probably hit that around the time of the event, if I had to take a guess. So that would be really cool. But yeah, there hasn't been any big jumps or big dips. It's been literally just consistent. I mean, we know what posts do good. We know when we're like, oh, we really need a post that's going to do good. Or if it's a paid post, like somebody's paid to partner with us, we try really hard to make that look organic, and we try to make it look not like an ad. But yeah, it's been consistent. It's been an obsession of mine. I'm trying to like not look at it too much as I used to. Like I'm in the messages all the time. I'm commenting back on everything. We have people now that are really engaged in it, and really, I actually have other people making content now, which is awesome. And then we're a content curator, so we share stuff from other creators. So that was a huge thing where a lot of creators, like if you're not making content, Adam McChesney's page doesn't get content put out. But once you can start grabbing clips and different things, and I think I've seen you post something before where you recorded a motivational speaker and then you stitched it, and then you're using content that's already really good and then just putting it and posting it at a different time or posting it to a different audience. So I would say about 70% of the posts are ours, and then 30% are other photographers, creators, foodies, different people that are local. And that's been huge because when people get featured, they're more likely to share it. They're more likely to talk about it. And that's how you kind of create those raving fans.
Yeah, no, it's 100% is like, how can you repurpose what's already out there, leverage other people's audiences, joint collaborate, do all that stuff, very similar to how we have, speakers come to our event. It's like, we're going to get exposure from your all's audience. You're going to get exposure from my audience. And obviously we all win in the process, which transitioning a little bit into your particular topic, just, if you will, give people a little bit behind the curtains of what you're going to be talking about at BOA Live here in June. So that way they can get excited about it and discuss it a little bit further.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. So basically the gist of what we're going to be going over is the title is Building Community Through Social Media. So what that means is we're going to give you 8 to 10 easy steps to take to build your own hyper-local community, whether you're in home service, whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're an influencer, whatever you are. There's easy steps for you to build a hyper-local community. It starts with engaging content. It starts with being an active partner, responding to messages, being an actual person, and really finding your niche, because I'm not making business content. Although I am a business owner, I'm not trying to jump into a different lane and make business content to be like Adam. Adam's in his own niche. The second that I start posting stuff like that, we see our numbers dip. And I see a lot of business owners do that. They try to be they try to be everything for everyone. And we see small communities all the time. So yeah, building a hyper local community on social media that feeds into your business. We've been able to leverage STL Bucket List to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars of returning revenue every year just from our brand there, by building trust in the community. So I'm excited to teach it even on a micro scale. You don't have to have 185,000 followers. You can have 500 and still drive it. So
yeah, that's awesome, Matt. Yeah, of all the talks, I mean, all the speakers are gonna be awesome. I'm super interested in what you're gonna be teaching, because it's like one of the things, like, I feel like I've done things the hard way, where not that like your way is easy by any means, but I'm super intrigued. I've grown my audiences like nationwide first, and then I come back to St. Louis and throw this event and things like that. So I kind of did it the hard way, if you will. Again, not that your way is easy by any means, but I think where I'm investing a lot of my stuff, especially with this Builders of Authority brand, and why I'm excited to collaborate with you on this and have you at the event and continue to build our relationship. You and I were kind of competitors, if you will, for a large majority of the past couple of years. Now I want to get back to like, hey, we have so many incredible people in St. Louis. How can we throw more of these events, bring in some speakers that we're bringing in, and continue to invest in this community? Because that's one of the coolest things is like I've had to travel all across the country to go get the information, to do all the stuff that I've done. Why can't that happen in our own backyard?
I agree. I think that St. Louis specifically, we have this diverse business community, huge tech community, huge home service businesses here that get no recognition nationwide that are doing amazing things. I know you're tapped into the home service business industry, but you're right. You don't have to go to Austin, Texas. You don't have to go to Orlando, Florida. You come to St. Louis. We're going to be at TechArtista. We're going to be at the Cardinals game. I mean, the events that you do, I mean, getting the people that do come in town, I think it's amazing that we're getting to go to a Cardinals game and everybody around the nation know the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, we're going to the St. Louis Cardinals game, and I think that that's special, but it really comes down to everybody needs a group, and everybody needs people to ask questions to. As business owners, it's hard for us to ask questions to Adam. Maybe we're competitors. He might not want to give. This is a group where everybody's going to come in here. We're going to ask questions with each other, stuff that bothers us, stuff that is hurting us in our business. And I think that building community through social media means a lot of things, but it's just one of the things of running a successful business. You still have to, do great work. You still have to have great customer service. Social media is just one aspect of it that a lot of people overlook. So I'm excited to get in there and talk to them about it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. So to the person watching this video that hasn't bought a ticket yet, they might be on the fence. They're like, okay, hey, I'm thinking about coming. I'm not exactly sure if this event for me. What can you say just about, like, obviously what we're doing here at the event, but also about just like investing in yourself and being in the room at an event like this to begin with?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So when I was 23, so 5 years ago, I bought my first coaching course, and everybody was making, hey, you spent $997 on that course. That course has made me a successful business owner. That $997, if somebody would have told me that 5 years ago, I would have bought every single course, every single book. And I think investing in yourself, it's the same as I compare it to working out. I know you're doing a working out challenge every day. you have to continue to invest in yourself. You can't buy a course and not actually put it into action. So I think that, the ticket price itself, to me, I don't even think of it as an expense. I think of it as an investment, and really that investment is the ROI that you're going to make from it. You got to come to the event. If you meet one person, if you learn one thing, then it's worth it. But you have to keep putting it into action. It's not one thing just going to the event, posting on social media, shaking hands with Adam. It's, taking the stuff that you learned and actually making something of it.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Yeah, everybody's looking for like the immediate, hey, I buy the ticket for $5.95 or I buy it for $1.95. Like, what am I going to get out of it? We already had there a ton of stories have happened even from the event that happened 5 weeks ago. It seems like it happened 5 months ago, because there was so much energy and all this stuff. And we're already way ahead of the game this time. We've actually sold another ticket this morning. We're almost at the ticket sales that we had last time, sponsorship sales, and we still have 2 months to go, which is awesome. But one of the guys, and I won't steal his thunder because he's going to come up on a panel, but and I won't tell his name or anything right now, but he literally took, we were having conversations, obviously, like the sidebar conversations and the networking, which is even better than what was going there. But he took what 4 or 5 different people had from a speaking standpoint, put together this idea in his head, found this opportunity for essentially pennies on the dollar, went and bought 12 different Facebook groups here in the area for next to nothing, with a combined reach of 300,000. And not only does he have this huge lever for his actual business to start promoting it, he now has a marketing company because of what they were already making in terms of advertising dollars for this stuff. So it's a story like that would have only happened, again, it could have happened, whatever, by happen chance, but because he heard 2 different speakers have talks, he heard a conversation I had with somebody about Facebook, all these different things happen, right? And if you don't put yourself in the room, it's not that your life will get changed. You have to show up and do the work, but you completely take the opportunity out of your hands to even have it change your life if you don't show up. So got to show up, got to be in the room, got to come see amazing people like Luke. We have 8 days left of the pre-sale tickets, so you get $200 off VIP. We have less than 10 VIP tickets left. You get $100 off general admission. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, you'll see all the links out there. Luke's going to be promoting it. But, man, Luke, I'm super pumped to have you. Appreciate your time here today. Any last pieces of advice or words to the audience about anything we didn't chat about?
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback off what you just said about the guy that bought the Facebook groups. And I think of it the same way as we both grew up as athletes, and it's you can't, if you don't actually take a swing, you can't get a hit. And really, coming to the event, you're going to meet a bunch of people. But really, knowledge is power. And I tell this to people all the time. I used to be very cheap, and I used to never want to spend money on CRM sources and systems, because everybody was trying to sell us something. We've bought all these stacks, all these different things, and it's made my life easier. So now I'm willing to spend money on any knowledge. So I really can't wait. I think that I'm more excited about listening to the other speakers. I've already saw the list. You just announced Mike a couple weeks ago, or probably last week. Super excited to meet him. So yeah, guys, come on down, buy a ticket now, and save a little bit of money, and get a VIP ticket and come to the Cardinals game with us after. So
yeah, it's going to be awesome. Well, Luke, man, I'm super pumped. Thanks again for coming on. I'll see you here in a couple months, if not before then, but appreciate you, man. And
thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Thanks.